Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Welcome to AM Language. I'm Richie. Sorry I'm late. I have had some technical difficulties with YouTube, which is why I am 5 minutes late. I should have been right on time. But technology has this ability to sometimes be very annoying. So today's lesson, signpost words, be more coherent. That is today's lesson. It's going to be ideal whether you are an IELTS student, a general English student, or even a business language student. So it covers all those main courses there. And I'm very happy to say that I can confirm that this is definitely working. So people should be able to find the lesson. Hello, Irina F. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you for joining. Marek, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. As always, guys, please make sure that you follow the lesson in the live chat section. That is where the action happens. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And for everyone watching, make sure you like the video. If you want to find out more in terms of how you can have lessons, actual physical lessons at AM Language, make sure you click on the description below and you can find the links to our website, well, AM Language's website and all the rest. Okay, so that is what you guys can do. I'm just going to try and change the angle, I think. Yeah, I think this is going to be a better angle. The light is really bright at the moment, so it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to get this right. Okay, so Roberto, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. Hope you're doing well. So guys, what are signpost words? Signpost words, something that you learn definitely in exam English. They really help you to understand and follow what a person is saying. So it's good for listening and it's good for you when you write or speak or even read. It's what tells you what the person is saying. It helps link ideas together. So really, we are looking at a lot of linking words. But sometimes what can be difficult is knowing what words to use, what phrases to use when we want to say something. So in terms of structure, this is quite easy in terms of trying to structure points. What we are going to look at are the following signpost words. We're going to look at introduction, signpost words. We're going to look at discussion, signpost words. And if we have time, we will then look at conclusion-based. Well, yeah, conclusion, sign. Come on, yeah, there we go. Signpost words. So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at three parts. We're not going to look at it in terms of first, second, third, because we've looked at that before. What I want to do is just look at how we can go about trying to introduce ideas, then discuss ideas back and forth, and finally conclusions. How we can talk about our conclusions, and importantly, we want to think of how everything connects, and that's the important thing, connection. So I'm going to write something over here, and you guys can try and tell me which words you think we need to look at. I'm going to give you a clue as well. Okay, so I'm going to write a little thing over here, and then I'm just going to put A, B, C, D, and we will look at that. So Let's begin. So, well, let's begin. Yeah, that's one signpost word, I suppose. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so we're just going to start off with this really short one. Um, there's some things we need to think about here. Let's see if you can find both signpost words that we need to look at here. Okay, so we need to look for two things. Now, a signpost word can be a single word or it can be a phrase. Okay, so you're looking for a phrase or a single word. Okay, so we need to find these two elements. One, first one. Okay, and two. Okay, so these are the two things we're going to start off with. One is a word collocation, really. So there's more than one word in this that we can use to introduce a topic, and then I will look at the specific word that we need to focus on in that one. And then the other one, there's also linking one idea to another, but there is a difference. So let's see if you guys can find out which two signpost words we are looking at. So we've got, when discussing the topic of travel, it's important to note that while it's an exciting industry, we can't forget the challenges it faces. In case you're wondering, important to note, really good bit of language when we want to say it's important to remember. So I just want to point that out to you guys. When you say it's important to note, what you're really saying here is that it's important to remember. Remember. That's a good bit of turn of phrase. It's not a signpost word by any means, but it's a really good bit of language that it's useful. So what do you think, guys? What two words do you think fit those descriptions? So Roberta says one is while and two might be we can't. Oh, while we can't forget. Okay, so Roberta's gone for while effectively for number one. So let's see if you're right. I'll give a chance to other people to come in. Maybe others would like to come in with their ideas. In the meantime, Roberto, feel free to tell me what you think the answer for number two is, and then I'll let you guys know, and we can have a little look at it. So now some of you might remember, when was it? Maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago, where we looked at words like while and whilst and whereas. So it's important to remember those. They come back again, especially when we're looking at something like this. Let's see, I'll give you guys 30 more seconds and then I'll tell you what the other one is. So we have an idea of what number one is, but do we have an idea of what number two is? Roberta says it's important to note. Okay, we'll see if you are correct there. If you are watching and you agree with Roberto, make sure you let me know in the live chat. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so number 1 goes with while, and that would be correct if this is a term that we use to link one idea to another. But there is a difference, and we want to say that there's a difference. Number 2 is this. When discussing. Okay, this is a good bit of, this is a signpost word, when discussing. This is a good way to introduce the topic that you wish to discuss. So this takes on some similarities. So I'm now going to show you another sentence. And now that we know the term while and when discussing, in the next paragraph, can we link while and can we find the synonyms of while and when discussing? Okay, so we've now got this. Tell me what we have to do. So in order to do this activity, you're going to tell me, for instance, you're going to go with 1, which is while, and then you're going to put a dash, and then you're going to put the word, okay? So you need to give me your answer like that. Have a little look. You've got regarding this topic. Though it's a difficult topic, it's important to remember that there are benefits. So let's see if you guys can do this. You've got 1, you've got 2. So we're looking for other ways that we can say while and when discussing in order to build this, up. I've seen here that, I mean, today we have unusually low numbers. Yesterday there were loads of people yesterday. Today, not so much. I know it's a public holiday in Malta. Maybe that's a reason why. We'll see. Maybe some more join later. Okay, so in this next paragraph, let's see. So Roberta said, while this topic is difficult, it's important to remember that there are benefits. Yes, that does go. That does work. But let me just highlight, okay, because that does work, Roberto, but let me make something absolutely clear. We're looking at this, when looking at this sentence here, okay, there are two, one with while and the other with when discussing, okay? So, okay, right, maybe this will be even clearer now that I've stated what I'm looking for written over here. So, Roberto, while this topic is difficult, it's important to remember that there are the benefits. Yes, that sentence does work. However, have a look at this. We've got regarding this topic, though it's a difficult topic, it's important to remember that there are benefits. We need to find two synonyms, one with while and the other with when discussing. Can you find me those two synonyms? And then we'll move on to the next one. We just want to build up a range here, and then we'll move on to the next bit, which is to discuss ideas. But at the end of it, if you know these 4 words, you can introduce any topic in conversation. So let's see if you can find out let's see if you can see the 2 that go with. Okay, 1 goes with while, 1 goes with when discussing. I'll give you guys maybe 20 more seconds and then I'll tell you what the answer is. Okay. But I would like to say that the sentence that Roberto has put up is good. It is correct. You can say that. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Okay, while. If you want to know what a synonym is for while, we've got a few, but in this case, though can be used as an alternative. And when we're looking at when discussing, we can use regarding. Okay, so they both have the same meaning and we can use them that way. Okay, now let's see about the next one. Okay, over here, I'm going to do the activity. I'm going to present the activities slightly different. So we've got now what we need to think about here is the term this one. Okay, so what we're thinking about here is the word concession, which means it's a way of saying yes, but. Okay, that's a way of thinking what we mean by the word concession, to make a concession. Okay, I'll give you the choices and then we'll see what we can go with. So A. B. C. And finally D. So 2 are right and 2 are wrong. So we're looking for concession. This is the way of saying yes, but. So there's something we agree, but we don't totally agree. So we've got A. It's true that a position, it's true that's a problem, but. So the emphasis here, it's true, but. This would be more informal. B, absolutely not. It cannot be the case. Okay, so here we're looking at the signpost word. Well, we're looking at the word absolutely. Next signpost word we're looking at is granted. So granted, there are problems, but. And finally, D, in no way can this be the case. And therefore, we're looking at in no way. So let's see what you guys say over here. We've got A, B, C, D. Yeah, A, B, C, D. 2 are right, 2 are wrong. We're looking for which 2 are the concessions, whereby we're saying, okay, yes, there's some bits to that argument. That's true, but that we have problems. So Roberto has said concession A and B. It's true and granted. Marek says A and B at A and C, sorry, A and C as well. Okay, guys, yes, you are correct. A and C are correct without question. Okay, so let's look at the next one, and then we'll move on to the conclusions, and then we'll try and put a full bit of language together. So the next one that we're going to look at is when we're stating for and against arguments. Okay, so let's see. Actually, let me just redo this first one, because actually I'm going to emphasize something. It's the same thing as concessions. So we're just continuing with concessions, okay? We're still continuing with that. So A, B, C. Finally, D. There we go. So again, two are right, two are wrong. Okay, so we've got even though it's a problem, we still something something. So even though is the signpost word that we're looking for here. B, though it may be the case, this is an expression. So we're looking at though it may be. C, in truth, we cannot know. The expression here, or the signpost word, is in truth. And finally, besides that, we cannot know. Here we're using besides that. So which two here, A, B, C, D, are correct and which two are wrong? Once we've done this, we'll move on to the conclusion. And then I'm going to give you a task where you guys need to try and complete complete the exercises using the right signpost words. We're going for more is less approach. So we're not going to look at too many things today. We're going to look at some things and make sure we get those some things correct. So I'll give you guys a minute to have a think about this. We've got even though it's a problem, we've got though it may be the case, we still need to, and C, in truth, we cannot know, and besides that, we cannot know. Roberta says concessions. The two are even though and though. Okay, so you're going for A and B. If you agree with Roberto, just tell me that's okay. Yes, so Marek has come in and has told me B. Okay, and the correct answer is A, even though, and B. So excellent, good. Now let's move on to conclusion, and then we'll look at the final bit. So conclusions, ways of going about it. Okay, conclusions. A. B. C. And finally D. Okay, so we've got A, B, C, D. Again, we're looking at conclusions, and we need to pick which ones we think are correct. We've got I think that, given the above, and in short, we. So we've got 2 right again and 2 wrong. Let me know what you guys think. 2 right, 2 wrong. We've got given the above, having said that, in short, we. So let's see how we got. Let's see what you guys answer with, and then we'll go into the main activity of the day, which can be a little bit harder because of the task I'm going to give you. But it's going to be manageable. It's going to be manageable. I should have got some water with me, and I forgot, which is a problem. One can get a little bit thirsty doing this. So the time is 20. We're 20. Yeah, it's 3:30 at the moment. So Marek says A and C. So you're saying I think that, and you're saying having said that. Okay, Marek. If thank you very much for your contribution, Roberto or Arena F, because I know you are watching. If you agree with Marek, let me know in the live chat. You can just say that you agree. Roberto says A and B. Okay, so what can we do? So the first thing that we need to say is, I'll explain what we mean over here. Okay, if we use I think, this is not a conclusion. This is not a conclusion. This is just giving an opinion. It's informal and it can be used at any point. B. Let's see. Given the above, yes. Given the above. This is correct. Okay, this is a good way to start your conclusion. This is the same as to summarize with your thoughts. Okay, so that's why B is correct. C, we've got having said that. Having said that. Okay, having said that is to give a different side to an argument. So this is not correct. We cannot conclude with that. And finally, D, in short, is correct. Simply means, again, it simply means to summarize or in summary. So in short, and given the above, those are your two best options. Okay. So we're now going to go into an activity. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is you need to try and decide which options you can use that we looked at in today's lesson to complete the activities. So let's just remind ourselves of what we're looking at. Okay, so if we're going to write an introduction, we need to think about the following signpost words. We need to think about when discussing. We need to think about the term while. When we are looking at, we also need to think about regarding and though. That may be, oh, is that coming a bit later actually? Though, yeah, just though. We then, from there, we moved on to words like granted, true, even though, though it may be, And we finished off with given the above, and finally, in short. Okay, so those are your options that you need to use in order to complete the task below. Marek says, the lesson is difficult for me today. Not to worry, Marek. This is the sort of thing that, that's why I'm going for a small amount rather than a big amount. Okay, let's see how you get on in this activity. Okay, let's see how you get on with this activity. So let's just remind ourselves. Okay, let's remind ourselves before we do the actual main activity. Can you tell me, question number 1, which signpost words can we use to introduce a topic? Okay, so that's the first question. So tell me, you've got the options of when discussing, while, regarding, though, granted, it's true, even though it may be, and given the above, and finally, in short. So my first question is, let's think back. Which signpost words can we use to introduce a topic? That's the first question there. We have our choices. You need to give me 2 answers. Okay, so 2 answers for question 1. Your choices are when discussing, while, regarding, though, granted, it's true, even though it may be, and given the above, and finally, in short. So which signpost words can we use to introduce the topic? Here's an example sentence. Let's see if you can also get it as well. Okay, so Roberto is saying that the options are either when discussing and regarding. In which, okay, when discussing, says Marek. Yeah, good, excellent. That's one of them. And I can tell you that regarding is the other. Therefore, for option 1, you could say when discussing COVID-19 or regarding COVID-19. So that's what we need to use when we're introducing a topic. Right. 2. Let's look at the next one. Which words can I use to talk about 2 things, but there are some differences? Okay. Again, you need to give me 2 answers, and my example sentence would be when discussing travel. Okay, guys, so let me know about the next one over here. When discussing travel, it can be expensive. It is extremely important. So if you give me 2 answers here, if they are right, they can complete the sentence and it's going to make sense. As it stands at the moment, it doesn't make sense. So let's see. So you got which words can I use to talk about 2 things, but there are some differences. Okay, so think back to the beginning. We looked at this very early on in the lesson. Let's see which 2 words you go with. Like I said, guys, oh, okay, so Roberto's coming quickly with while and though. Marek or Arena F, do you agree with Roberto? Does that make sense? Can we say when discussing travel, while it can be expensive, or though it can be expensive, it is extremely important? And then we can continue the rest of the sentence. So if anyone agrees with Roberto there, let me know. And then I'll move on to the next one. Marek says she agrees. And yes, that is correct. Good. Excellent. Next one. Okay, we're now going to look at concessions. Okay, so saying yes, but. Which words can I use to say yes, but? Okay. So concessions. You need to give me anywhere between 2 and 4 answers for this one. You can go with okay, let's see how you guys do with this one over here. So we've got there are something, these are good arguments, they do not. So just to remind you of your options. At this point, you've got so we've got when discussing, while, regarding, though, granted, it's true, even though it may be the case, given the above, and in short. Okay, so those are your answers that you need to use. You need to give me anywhere between 2 and 4 answers to answer this question. Which words can I use to say yes, but? Effectively, it means yes, but. Okay, so Mark is coming with granted. Granted, can we say this? Granted, these are good arguments. They do not, that should be, but they do not actually. That would probably make more sense to say, but I forgot the but bit to that. So, granted, Roberto says, though, even though it's true, but granted. Though these, okay, yeah, and that's correct. You could use all of them. So, just to confirm, yes, you could use though. You could use even though. You can use granted. You can use it's true as well. So well done. That's the correct answer. And they all go, because you can say, though these are good arguments, even though these are good arguments, granted these are good arguments, it's true, these are good arguments. Excellent. So we're going to finish off with the conclusion. So conclusion. Sample sentence. Okay. So you've got to give me 2 words, 2 signpost words, which we can use for conclusions, and you can then put them in between A and B. And if you get them right, then you have achieved the task today. So I know, Marek, earlier on you said you find this quite difficult. Hopefully by the end of this, you have a good idea of words you can now use. And hopefully, therefore, it's not as difficult. Conclusion, Roberto says, given the above, and in short. Marek says, in short. Do you agree with Roberto? Can we use given the above? Can we say that, given the above? Do you agree with Roberto? And then that will take us, that means that we would have then ticked all the boxes given the above. Excellent. Okay, good. Guys, correct. So, Marek, Roberta, Rena F, and anyone else watching or anyone who watches later, please make sure you write down these signpost words. I'll be using them in tomorrow's lesson as well when we look at a listening activity. It comes back. Okay, and I think I'm back. Okay, yeah, the internet isn't great for me today. I don't know why. But finish off by saying is that here, take a note, write down these examples, and write in a notepad. Try and write your thoughts on something and try and use these signpost words. They make things easier. And I hope that by the end of the lesson today, you have found these examples easier to use. Knowing how to use signpost. So I hope, Marek, I hope this now makes more sense. So guys, signpost words, important when trying to explain yourself or when trying to follow a reading or when you're trying to listen to someone. So guys, thank you so much for your contribution today. Thank you, Marek. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you for your contribution. Irina F, thank you for watching as well. Make sure you like the video as well. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, with a lesson which is going to focus on developing listening skills. And we're going to use some things that we looked at yesterday and today. Irina F says, thanks, take care. Roberto says, thank you very much. I really appreciated it. Take care. Thank you very much, Roberto, and thank you for joining. Thank you, Arena F. Have a really good evening, and thank you for joining. Marek, you too, thank you very much for watching, and have a good evening as well. So, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. You too, Marek. Take care, and bye for now.